I didn't make a video yesterday. I built a blanket fort with my kids. They didn't have school for Martin Luther King Day. So we sat in a blanket fort and they played video games and watched movies, and I did homework all day. The funny thing is, my kids are 15 and 10, and our blanket fort could fit all three of us. And we are all so stiff and sore today because we're getting a little older than when they were smaller, and blanket forts are not for the weary, that's for sure. Not all day anyway. I just have had some thoughts on my mind over this weekend that I kind of wanted to share since Friday, and then things have popped up for me, for a few friends, for I think just about everyone in the world, really. And I just kind of had some things that I've been kind of percolating inside. Today is a very calm, easy self-care day. Things feel harder than they need to be. I was talking with a friend about, we called it leveling up, like in a video game. And I've talked about this with so many people before. Even at a mental health summit I went to a few months ago, one of the therapists that I listened to, she kind of mentioned this idea. You have the anxiety, you're finding your tools, your things to feel better, to be able to take control if you think that that's what you need, work through it, live with it. I personally am trying to make my anxiety my friend because it's not going anywhere, so we may as well get along. But how, like, you finally get to that point where you feel like you can live your life. This is doable, and things are good. You're having that rational thinking, and then you feel like you get slammed and thrown back 20 feet. And this therapist, she said, but the thing is, you didn't go backward. This is your brain and your body saying to you, you're capable of knowing more. You need more. You need more learning techniques. You need more tools in your tool belt. You need to understand more. You need to learn more, process more, heal from more. Like, there's more that now needs to happen. So this friend and I, we talked about it's kind of like leveling up in a video game. You conquer a level and you level up. And it's been on my mind because I really want to just yell to God and to the whole universe, hey, I'm good at this level. Let's just stay here. This is fine. This is cozy. I like this one. Let's play this one on repeat. But he's got something different in mind. So, like when you play Mario, we love Mario at our house. I love Mario. And sometimes you'd get to a level and you just couldn't beat it. Like, you're constantly falling in the fire pit. You're constantly letting that fish bite you. Bowser took you down again. Like, stupid jumping turtle things. Like, sometimes you just couldn't beat it. And you had to go over and over and over and over. But what happened is every time that you'd go over that level, you'd remember before. Don't do this. Do this. Grab this. Don't do that. And eventually you conquered the level. Other levels were just easier. You could just handle it. That was easy. I've got that. But that level was easy because of things that you had learned from previous levels. And you eventually conquered the harder level because of all the tools and the tricks and the tips and the things that you had learned, which changed with each hard level, right? Every new world brings new challenges, new characters, new threats, new everything. And I just thought that was such an amazing analogy, for us, for our minds. Every new season of life brings new challenges. Some seasons are so much easier than others. Other seasons are too burdened or too heavy. Some feel like they are going to end your life. Things get heavy. And how we just keep leveling up. We keep going. Your survival rate is pretty amazing right now, right? I mean, you conquered every level you've been given. And guess what? You're probably going to keep conquering them. You're going to keep growing. You're going to keep learning. You're going to keep getting stronger. So, I have to tie in scripture. And scripture, there's a lot of times that we read about backsliding, and it's the same thing. Like, this whole idea of here you are, and now you need to go here. It happens in everything. It's not just our mental state. It's not just our physical state. It's not just our emotional state. It's also our spiritual state. Here you are, and now you need to go here. And sometimes you backslide. And sometimes you start to question. You start to have doubt. You start to wonder. But that's the whole point, is because then you learn and you grow and you thrive and you get to the next level. You learn more. You're capable of more. And eventually those levels mean that you get to start reaching out to help others. So despite the fact that you are feeling in this super crazy funk, you get to now reach out and help others too. Because you understand. Because in you, while you're going through that crazy level, you're building empathy and you're building compassion and charity and love. And then you don't want others to struggle too. You want to be that person that you always wished you had. And my favorite thought when I think about this, makes me emotional, is like in our church, in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we talk about being on a covenant path. You're on a covenant path, and I don't think it's straight. And I think there's 50,000 million different paths branching off of your covenant path, right? There's so many different ways to go and detours to take and all that. But I also think there's benches. And I think sometimes you just gotta sit and take a breather. And you gotta work through those questions. You gotta work through that wonderment. And when it comes to your mental state, you've really gotta dig in. Why is this happening again? What is happening within the system around me that feels a little bit broken? What do I need to do about it? What tools do I need? So, those are just thoughts that have been on my mind for the last several days. Because it's really triggering deep within me right now too. And I just want you to know if it's triggering with you too, if it's hitting you deep, and you're saying, yeah, I get it. Well, you know what? You're not alone. I know that I just said on Friday I hate those words, but I'm telling you again, you got me. And I know that you've got so many others too. This world's all about leveling up. That's what life is. It's about learning and growth. So I just wanted to leave that with you, and I hope you guys all have an amazing Tuesday.